We're coming to you from the Radford Studio Center lot in Studio City, right over the hill from Hollywood. This is the place where dreams are made, legends are born. Happy holiday and welcome to The Lot. I'm Suzanne Marques. We are counting down to the first award show of 2024, the Golden Globes. And the host is no stranger to the stage. In fact, he sells out arenas. But this is his first time hosting in Hollywood.
Okay, I'm making this video because I'm super excited to announce that the Golden Globes are in a couple weeks. And you're probably wondering who the host is. It's me, Jo Koy. That's right, Sunday, January 7th, you can watch the Golden Globes, the 81st annual Golden Globes on CBS Live or stream it on Paramount Plus. And it's gonna be me the whole time.
And we can't wait. Golden Globes producers tapped comedian Jo Koy for his infectious energy and relatable humor. Jo says taking the Globe stage will be extra special. And the moment he gets to make his Filipino family proud. His film Easter Sunday was the first big studio movie with an all-Filipino cast. The Globes, under new leadership, have also added 2 new categories. One for best stand-up performance by a comedian, like Jo, of course, and for blockbuster movies. So expect lots of star power at the show and on the carpet. They are set for Sunday, January 7th on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus. And mark your calendar for that weekend's episode of The Lot. We're gearing up for the big show with a special Golden Globes edition of The Lot. Paramount Plus is celebrating Dick Van Dyke's 98th birthday with an entertainment special streaming now. And the party was a surprise for the legendary actor and performer. Legendary actor and performer Dick Van Dyke is a triple threat whose charisma sparkles through the screen.
Oh, you pretty chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang, we love you.
His movies and music have provided the soundtrack to generations of kids and adults alike.
Stepping time, come on, mighty, stepping time.
The cutest thing about him is he always does a little sort of dance move. And this is in his 90s, you know, where most of us can't even get out of bed in the morning.
He's universally popular. Yeah. I don't want to meet anybody that doesn't like Dick Van Dyke.
When the day is gray and ordinary, Mary makes the sun shine bright.
CBS threw him a surprise birthday celebration. Dick Van Dyke, 98 years of magic, under the guise they were going to interview him.
I'm often asked, how does it feel? Well, you say, well, it feels good. It's hard to explain feeling. I'm stunned. I'm not going to get over this till morning to realize it actually happened. I mean, this never happened to anybody. I thought I was going to do an interview. And all of a sudden, when you think of all those kids rehearsing those dance numbers, it's like a Broadway show.
So spread sunshine all over the place and put on a happy face.
To get up? What do you mean? What's all this?
If it wasn't obvious by the soot on her face, JoJo Siwa performed the hit song from Mary Poppins, Step in Time.
Stepping time, stepping time, stepping time, stepping time. Never need a reason, never need a rhyme. Stepping time, stepping time.
Immediately that little... I think I come from the dance world, and so a lot of his music is massive in the dance world.
I saw him trip over the ottoman in the opening sequence of the Dick Van Dyke Show, so that is blazoned in my memory.
I was just enchanted by Bert, the chimney sweep in Mary Poppins. 1964, and we're watching Mary Poppins, and then we go home and we take our mom's mops and we dance our little hearts out, and we were really sure we were as good as Julie and Dick.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What age were you? How old?
I was 11.
I love that.
Too old to really be doing that, but we did it anyway.
If you say it loud enough, you'll always sound precocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Friends and fans alike say the secret to his longevity is his youthful spirit.
I had met him, Dick, several times before and bumped into him at a gym. And it was early in the morning, and he was lifting weights, and then he'd get up from whatever machine he was on, and he would do literally a dance step to the next machine. And it was like, how do you have that energy? And we were talking, and he said, what I do is I work out for an hour, lifting weights. I go home and I swim for an hour, and then I get right back into bed and go to sleep. It's like, that's the secret.
Reacher Season 2 is breaking records on Prime Video, within days becoming the most watched show of 2023. If you haven't seen it yet, don't worry, we have you covered. Jack Reacher was once a major in the U.S. Army, turned lone wolf, righting wrongs. And in Season 2, Jack Reacher has brought backup. More Jack Reacher? Yes, please. The veteran military police investigator is back for Season 2.
You've been carjacked, right? Don't turn around. This won't take long.
Wait, who are you?
Someone who prefers not getting involved.
Usually content being a drifter, Reacher gets a coded message that members of his former U.S. Army unit are being murdered one by one. So he reunites with 3 of his former teammates to investigate. Maria Sten reprising her role from Season 1, joined by Serinda Swan and Sean Semos.
David O'Donnell is a switchblade wielding. Thank you. You want to take it? I dare. No, actually, you take it.
David O'Donnell is a switchblade wielding
brass knuckle donning
father, family man.
Carla Dixon is a expert mathematician accountant who, as we like to say, crushes numbers and crushes skulls.
And Maria was saved the best for last.
Francis Neely is, of course, Reacher's best friend, his the person that knows him better than anybody, sees him, and they have this solid relationship, weird relationship, friendship, but where we don't talk about how we actually feel about each other.
Looks like you had a rough night.
Had worse. Need a new jacket.
What's wrong with the one you just bought?
It has blood on it.
You can see why it's a hit. White Lotus creator Mike White is shifting gears and made an animated film in theaters now. Migration is about a family of ducks trying to convince their overprotective dad to take them on the vacation of a lifetime. Awkwafina, Keegan-Michael Key, Elizabeth Banks, and Kumail Nanjiani all lend their voices.
Migration? What a stupid idea.
Okay, you're impossible.
Because I found a safe place for us to live.
I want us to get out and see the world.
A family flock takes flight in Migration.
I don't want to miss out on life because you're afraid to leave this pond.
This movie is really about seeking out that sense of adventure, leaving your bubble, leaving the nest, and I think really reconnecting as a family, you know, and doing something fun and exciting.
Don't worry, Chump's gotcha.
So listen, Chump.
What? Did you just call me?
Sorry, I thought your name was Chump.
Yeah, Chump, yeah, that's my name. What?
It's the honorary New York City bird, you know? There were so many things that felt really natural, like it's, it came from a place that I think, you know, I've always wanted to play a pigeon, and we were saying I played quite a few birds, which is not, I don't know what the industry's trying to tell me, but like, you know, but I enjoyed that I got to play a pigeon.
You did it! I can't believe it! I was in a cage, and now I am not. In, and now not.
But Delroy, a lot of this was about the accent, and I had a dialect coach who was very, very instrumental in helping me, you know, form the voice and make the sounds. The thing one of the things that was a fun challenge was figuring out through the emotion how to keep the dialect.
It's really fun and really funny and thrilling and a good time for the whole family, and that duck l'orange tastes delicious.
What is that? Duck à l'orange.
What's duck à l'orange? It's you with l'orange on top.
So cute. When we come back, we're chatting with one of the stars of Percy Jackson and the Olympians, now streaming on Disney+, and we're going to share an exclusive clip.
Monsters can't be avoided entirely. They're more common than you think. The trick is to spot them first before they spot you. It's true they are more likely to sense a more powerful demigod. A child of the big three, Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades, is at the most extreme risk. But it isn't your power exactly that draws them. It's more complicated than that.
I smell fear.
That's bees. What a monster senses kind of depends on the monster. Some are better at sensing your inadequacy. Some your need for glory, your shame. It's important to remember that if you've ever got to confront one. Wherever your armor is weakest, that monster is probably coming right for it. Nothing will stop them. Not even death.
Ah, I'm about to fall off my chair. There's a cliffhanger. Percy Jackson and the Olympians is taking Disney Plus and Hulu by storm, and one of the stars is joining us in studio, Aryan Simhadri. I am so excited for you because this is such a popular book series, but you were a fan before you even took on this role.
Oh yeah, I was a fan before I even knew that they were making a show.
So what did it mean to you before you even saw it on the screen?
I mean, when I got that first draft of the script, even like back when I was auditioning, if I'm gonna be honest, I didn't think I was gonna get the job because it's such an iconic role, you know? I kind of figured it was gonna be for someone else. And I submitted an audition, and then 3 months later, I got a proper callback with new sides. And they remembered who I was, and so I started freaking out, and I submitted another tape, and here I am.
It's incredible. And let's talk about the journey to fruition, because clearly you're a little younger there.
A little, yeah.
And let's talk about the filming schedule and just meeting all of these folks that they want to make more and more series.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the best thing about this show is that it's a show. We get so much more time to develop characters who are kind of passed over in the books or in the movies, stuff like that. And about the filming process, I mean, it was great. Everything was organized, but all of the producers and the directors gave us enough like freedom to kind of play around.
And speaking of playing around, you had to, because there was so much CGI that you can't tell, but you guys, were you acting in front of green screens?
Well, we actually got to work on the volume stage, which was a huge gift. It's this big dome of just like LED lights kind of taped to each other. And you know, you get to see like these beautiful sunsets and the trees of Camp Half-Blood. You don't have to imagine those, so you can just focus on pretending like the Minotaur is real.
And what was your most fun thing to do? Because there's so many adventure sequences in it.
Yeah, I think the most fun scene for me, I'm not sure if it's in the show or not, but the scene where Grover kind of goes up to the Council of Cloven Elders, we filmed that on the volume stage. And it's this insane set, and everyone is dressed like I am, so everyone has ears and horns and you know, mocap pants on. So it was nice getting to interact with people like me.
And what do you think of the author being so proud of the series? Because he didn't really like the movies, but this is close to his heart. That's so meaningful.
I know, it was, this is kind of unrelated, but every time I open up Chalice of the Gods and see like the dedication to us, that's just, I can't believe that's real. It's insane that he's like someone that I've looked up to for, you know, 10 plus years now. I get to work with him. I mean, that's awesome.
It's incredible. It's like signing on to the Harry Potter universe. You now have a part of your identity that will always be tied to this. Mm-hmm. And what's it like on social media? Are fans having fun? Are they asking for clues?
We definitely have a lot of diehard fans of the books who have kind of already figured out what the clues are going to be, stuff that we've like given away in interviews. But I'm really excited for people who haven't seen the show to get to be introduced into this world, because for me, the books are what got me into Greek mythology, and that's something everybody should get to experience, I think.
Yes, let's talk about the plot for people who haven't read the books or seen the movie.
Percy Jackson is about a 12-year-old boy named Percy Jackson, and his kind of discovery that he's not quite human, that his father is Poseidon, one of the main 3 Greek gods. And he goes on this quest to retrieve Zeus's master, like lightning bolt, before the summer solstice or all-out war breaks.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And I think the books are fantastic. It's so wonderful that it's so true to the books. And there are lots of Easter eggs in the show.
Yeah, there are. I've said this before, but in the casino, there's a few names being thrown around that I think fans of the books who have read them before will definitely be excited to see. There's a bunch of new scenes as well that provide a lot of like depth and kind of flesh out moments that you don't get to see in the books because it's from Percy's perspective. There's so many things, even in Camp Half-Blood in those first couple episodes.
Well, since we are, on the cusp of a new year, what does it feel like going into 2024 with such a bang?
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the best time for the show to come out, and because we're releasing every episode on a weekly basis, I'm just glad that people are still going to be talking about it into the new year.
That's fantastic. And Aryan, so great to meet you.
Thank you.
I'm so glad to have you on the show, and I can't wait to watch your star just keep rising.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. When we come back, we sit down with Elie Bman, star of Desi Quest, the new D&D game taking the internet by storm, and we meet the session musicians behind some of the biggest hits from the 70s.
This project has been 3 years in the making, and it's only real because you supported it. Like any good D&D campaign, this all started with an idea. I just wanted to play a D&D game with other Desi people.
How about a nat 20?
Oh! It is my passion to share the wonderful place I come from and my culture with all of you.
You're about to have the Bollywood experience.
Through time and space, everything seems to stop.
This looks so fun. I am so honored to be joined right now in studio by Elie Bman, who has been on The Sopranos, Modern Family, NCIS, you name it. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. This is a really fun place to be right before the holidays.
It is.
It's such a lovely way to wrap the year up.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And we have to celebrate your nomination. Let's talk about the awards show right around the Golden Globes.
Yeah, so it's the Hollywood Creative Alliance ASTRA Awards, and I'm nominated for Best Supporting Actress in a streaming series for Ms. Marvel, which was, it might sound cliche, but I was so shocked at the nomination that I'm genuinely 100% just thrilled to be nominated. The women in this category are unfathomably talented. And I'm excited. I'm excited to get dressed up and hang out with them and support the show and support the other shows. It's a really good time.
Well, let's talk about the new show that you have out as well. So Desi Quest is so much fun. I've been watching clips. I don't know how to play Dungeons and Dragons, but by watching y'all, I want to play.
So here's the thing. Dungeons and Dragons and any what we call tabletop role-playing games, TTRPGs, all of them are open book tests with friends helping you. So you never have to worry about, because the whole game is really about storytelling. It's collaborative storytelling. And what we wanted to do with Desi Quest specifically is that we wanted to set it in a fantasy world that was a little different than the standard ones, the standard Lord of the Rings kind of things, that was specifically tailor-made to be akin to the South Asian subcontinent and India, which is the culture that all of us lead actors come from. So our dungeon master created this world called Vihar, which is based on India, and all of the players are playing Indian characters, and then we bring in people as guests who are not necessarily part of the Indian culture or don't have that background, because we want people to know we're inviting you to the party. That's how we learn. That's how we learn about other cultures. It's not by you being worried about offending someone or something like that. Come to our party, share with us. We'll tell you what everything means. We'll help you play the game. Just come be with us in this magical fantasy world. And we have had such a wonderful time with it.
Well, it does feel like you're playing with friends and family.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's also talk about Ms. Marvel. What an incredible role.
If someone had told me years ago that I would get to be a part of the Marvel universe, I would have not believed it. But then if someone told me that I would have played an auntie in the Marvel universe, then I'm like, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. So yeah, what a great show, what a great team. Everybody from the top down, from Kevin Feige and Louis Esposito to Sana Amanat, the creator, and Bisha Ali, and then of course our beautiful lead Iman Vellani, like everyone. It was such a labor of love for everyone on that set and everyone behind the camera and in front of the camera. Every day was an absolute joy to be there, and I'm so excited that now the world has not just Iman, who is incredible, but the world has this depiction of a family just like yours or mine or anyone else's that just happens to have this cultural background. And I think that's the way forward in general with people understanding each other, is that it's not about, we're not one thing.
Yes.
We aren't our culture or our gender. We aren't those, we're all these unique things that make us the person that we are. And that coming of age story for Ms. Marvel, for Kamala, is exactly that kind of, that absolutely shows that trajectory.
Well, I love your celebrated career, all the roles you've done, but you're also an author.
I am. So I did a web series called I Am Fun Size years ago that I had created as a love letter to the gaming community when I did my first video game. And many people had said that they wanted me to make it into a book, and so I did. I published it through my company, Tiny Paws Publishing, in 2022, and we hit number 5 on the, I know, the illustrations are my favorite. There's pictures of my dog, there's just all sorts of stuff in there. But it's basically what I like to call it is your buddy in a book. You don't have to read it straight through. You can pick it up and read at any story. It's just something to help people know that they're not alone.
I love that.
And that they would be missed if they were gone. So pick this up, carry your buddy in a book with you, see the cute pictures of the dog, great illustrations, and hopefully people will enjoy it.
Well, congrats on all of your success, Anjali. It's been so great having you.
Thank you so much. It's been really fun.
Of course. Now to a new documentary sure to be a hit with music fans. Immediate Family tracks the rise and collabs of legendary session musicians from the 70s who helped create the sound behind some of rock's most iconic voices.
In the early 70s, you couldn't pick up an album and look at the liner notes without seeing these guys' names.
Russ Kunkel, Danny Korchmar, Lee Sklar, Waddy.
They were just musicians we knew, and they gradually became legendary session musicians.
Was there something that really just touched your heart or just brought back a good memory, and tell me why it touched you?
The thing that really hit me hard was what all the interviewers had to say, the people that were being interviewed, James and Carol and Phil Collins and Jackson Browne, just their originations about us was really touching to me. And every time I see it, I hear something different, or it just appears a different way. And it's hard to be documented, you know. That's one of the things that we all felt the first time we saw it. It's like, oh my God, this is about us. We're not part of the back line anymore.
Not only did they give birth to this music, they're as much the author of these songs as the artist they did it with.
We got to see what you've added to these songs that if you weren't there, it just wouldn't have that essence, that oomph. It wouldn't have been a hit.
Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone.
Russ, let's talk about Fire and Rain. We see a little bit of that.
Well, you know, it was an incredible honor to be able to perform on that song with James. We rehearsed the songs for that album at Peter Asher's living room, and there was no PA system or anything, and I had to do all the rehearsing with brushes, because if I would have played sticks, it would have drowned everyone out. So when we got into the studio and it was time to record Fire and Rain, I mentioned to Peter, I said, should I just, you know, play this with brushes the way we've been rehearsing? And he said, yeah, try that. And so, you know, just because we rehearsed it that way, I ended up playing it that way, and it worked.
I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end.
Working with Phil Collins, that's iconic too, and amazing.
Yeah, I love Phil. We had a great run. I met Phil doing a Lee Ritenour album in 1981, and he asked me if I would do his solo album with him, and I said I can't do it because I'm already committed to James Taylor at this point, but I said I'd love to work with you at some point, so please keep me in mind. And he called me in 1984 to do his No Jacket album, and then we spent 1985 on the road, and we pretty much worked together all the way up to about 4 years ago when we did the Not Dead Yet tour, and then after that he retired.
Just like the white-winged dove sings the songs as like she's singing.
Edge of 17 with Waddy.
Well, that song, Russell and I play on that song together, and I needed it to sound tough. I needed that guitar to really speak the way it does on that record. When we heard the demo of it, it was done with an echo, and it just didn't sound at all to me like what Stevie was putting out. She was putting out such a fierce energy in her lead vocal, and I just said, I'm not going to do it. I don't use effects anyway, but I said, I'm not going to use an echo on this thing. I'm going to play it the way I'm hearing it. and I showed Jimmy Iovine. So it's a really hard-edged version of that.
You can rent Immediate Family on most streaming services. That's a wrap for this episode. Thanks for watching. I'm Suzanne Marques. See you again next week on The Lot.
Yeah.